I think that they should trade Gleyber Torres to Colorado for Trevor Story. I don't think you could fix him. He swings for the fence. He might hit home runs out there. He's not going to hit them here. He swings too hard, and he doesn't seem to want to change in any way. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, here's the problem. Now all of a sudden Gleyber Torres is washed, right? He's gone from Kim and you and we haven't done a show talking about Gleyber, right?
Right.
He's not a shortstop, right? I mean, I don't think he is a shortstop. I said in the
I think
offseason,
his heart's not in being a shortstop.
Yeah, I think he's a second baseman. Brian Cashman even admitted he's better defensively at second base than he is at shortstop. So now you look at that. Now you look at what he is offensively. Now, is he taking a hit? The fact that there's been an adjustment to the baseball, in all likelihood, he has, right? I mean, year he hit 38 home runs, he destroyed the Baltimore Orioles. What, he hit 14 home runs that year, something like that?
Nuts.
Double-digit home runs against Baltimore, and down in Camden Yards and the like. I don't think Gleyber's a lost cause. I really don't. I think the guy that everyone was excited about as being a young infielder, young middle infield star in Major League Baseball, I think that guy is still there. I think the Yankees got to make him a second baseman. I think you got to move him back there. And
what do you do with LeMahieu?
I move LeMahieu to first.
What do you do with Voit? Everyone's All-American.
I'd get rid of Voit.
Yeah.
I would have gotten rid of him after last year.
Yeah.
And Luke's a nice guy. And he showed you leadership last year. He's hurt all the time. He's not a good defensive first baseman. We get caught up with the exit velocity, and I'm just looking at overall. I would have added a shortstop, Gleyber to second, LeMahieu to first base, Gio Urshela at third, and I would have probably added a shortstop that can hit from the left-handed side of the plate.
Wow, imagine that. Couple of things. I think Gleyber is a cautionary tale that the Yankees shouldn't have needed. They shouldn't need a cautionary tale.
Right.
And I like Brian Cashman. Always great to me. I enjoy Brian. I haven't talked to him in years. I'd love to interview him. I'm obviously not going to reach out to him now about anything. I mean, that's not fair.
Brian, how's your summer going?
Yeah, Brian, hope you're,
how was your fourth?
Yeah, the text open, hey, Brian, hope you're well. You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to do that.
Did you go,
I'm not doing that.
Hamburger, hot dog?
Right. Right. From the right or left side. Watermelon's big on the fourth, though.
Brian, we haven't chatted in a while. How are things?
I ate a huge container of watermelon over the 4th.
Nice.
Not all in one sitting or anything. I love watermelon. That's the 4th of July to me, eating watermelon and
yes,
listening to the fireworks. Gleyber, though, cautionary tale, because you had a really talented player who you had a lot of conviction about very early on. I can't give you might be able to, Moose. I can't give you chapter and verse from when the Yankees, identified Gleyber and wanted him and acquired him and everything else. But they had conviction that they wanted Gleyber Torres. And I do think the organization deserves some blame here for, moving him to short, thinking that was going to be easy for him. Should it have been easier than it's been? In my opinion, yes, because he's a really good baseball player and he's a really good athlete. He's a good enough athlete to play short. I agree with you. It certainly is not his best position. He should be better than he is. I look at Gleyber now, and I think you see a still, young, how old is he, 25?
Yeah.
A still young baseball player beaten down. Again, we could argue whether that stuff should happen. I can't put myself in Gleyber's shoes. He was treated like a prized possession, possession meaning prospect. I should say prospect's a better word.
Yeah.
A prized prospect. And then all of a sudden do it at short now. And by the way, you're going to go through some growing pains and it's going to be really, really hard for you. I just think that they've done it the wrong way with Gleyber. I don't know how he comes out of this. I'm not saying he can't. I don't know enough about him and his, mental fortitude to come out with this. To me, it's mental as much as physical. Now, you and I could watch some plays, and you could say to me, "Look at that footwork, that's physical. Look at that that ball placement and where his glove is, that's physical." I understand that. I think with Gleyber, it starts neck up, and I think the Yankees deserve some of the blame for that. I actually feel bad for the kid. I don't know anything about him. I'm assuming he works hard. I'm assuming he still wants to be great, but he has had to take a different path than he originally thought. And I don't think that's always easy for these players.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there. I think Gleyber, whether it be a shortstop or second base, was always going to define himself about what he is up at the plate. and
That's a good point.
And he is
Well,
regressed.
Yeah.
I mean, he has not been what you expected. I thought, Harper had John Harper, that is, had a good tweet a couple weeks ago where he said he was talking to opposing scouts saying when they first watched Gleyber Torres on the major league level, the adjustment that he would be able to make within any at-bat made him special. He goes, those adjustments are gone. He goes, I don't know what's going on.
And that's confidence. That's neck up to me.
Yeah, and he goes, I don't know what's going on with Gleyber Torres, but he is making no adjustments up at the plate, and you're getting the same kind of swinging from the heels with Gleyber time and time again. I think the Yankees messed with him. I mean, they should have just kept him at second base. When he filled in for Didi, they got arrogant about it. Their analytics department, which we'll get to here in a little bit, because a great piece by Joel Sherman in the Post, but the analytics department about Didi Gregorius all of a sudden regressing defensively at shortstop. They let him go in free agency. That was a miss. They moved Gleyber over to shortstop. Last year, he was out of shape, spring training 2.0, according to Brian Cashman. He comes back. He's bad defensively, not been good defensively this go-around here in 2021, Kim. And now you're left with a player of what do you do? Yep. Well, I'm going to still stick with him, but I'm going to move him to the position I still think he's the most comfortable at, which would be second base.
What would concern me, and I can't know this, he's really lost his way. I will say this about Gleyber. I give him great credit. He does his Zoom calls in English.
He does.
He has a translator there, and occasionally, and listen, some of our questions, and I'm saying our just as a media in general, get really long. And I would think that especially with English as your second language, that would be hard. And I mean that. That would be very hard when one of us, and I'll put myself in this category, if I were on a Zoom and I got on a roll with a question to Gleyber Torres and it went on and on, I think that's asking a lot for him to follow the 3 points I'm making while I'm asking him a question. He does have a translator there, who pops on and clarifies things for him sometimes when that happens. But I give him a lot of credit. I feel like he's tried. I honestly feel bad for him. Again, I'm a softie. I've never met him. I'm a softie, though. Unless I learn differently, I think this is much more the organization doing Gleyber wrong than Gleyber. Again, out of shape last season.
Yeah.
Last season's a wash. Last year's a wash in so many ways for us. But I don't see that as an issue now. I just do not think he has taken the steps that you would want a young phenom or borderline phenom in the game to take. You don't see any of that now.